T-14 Armata tank is the latest development in the Russian tank building industry, utilizing the most advanced technologies and powerful armament. Armata is considered to be the fourth-generation tank, currently in service only with the Russian Army. Simply put, the T-14 is the newest and most modern Russian tank. All the experience accumulated by Soviet and Russian designers was taken into account in its development. Why are shotguns hidden under Armata's armor? How can this tank fully operate without a crew? What is an uninhabited turret? And has the Armata already taken part in combat operations in Ukraine? We'll tell you about this and much more in today's video. Since the creation of the legendary T-34 tank troops have been the main strike force of the Soviet land forces. The T-34 was the most mass-produced tank of World War II. Modern armored vehicle designers still compare their projects with it, and the American program Top 10 Tanks named it the best tank in history. After the T-34, Soviet designers started to work on the second-generation tanks, the T-64, T-72, and T-80. It was impossible to create and test the third-generation tank before the collapse of the USSR, and later the harsh economic conditions of the 1990s prevented them from doing so. At that time, the Russian Army's armament began to lag behind NATO tank technology. Years later, the country's leadership returned to the topic of developing a new tank. The designers were given the task of creating a new generation tank that would surpass the performance of a likely enemy in terms of its characteristics. According to open sources, the development of the T-14 began in 2010. Specialists from the Ural Design Bureau started working on the Armata. It was their unconventional solutions that helped to realize the achievements of the USSR engineers to create a tank with an uninhabited turret. The tank was designed to replace the existing T-72 and T-90 tanks in service. The T-95 design was taken as a basis, and the developers were tasked with creating a fundamentally new tank of the next generation. The novelty was first demonstrated in 2015 at the Victory Parade in Moscow. In 2016, the first samples were sent to the troops, and mass production began in December 2021. The exact combat characteristics of the newest tank are kept secret, but we will share what is currently known. The main innovation is the isolated armored capsule, which protects the crew from attack and even from ammunition detonation. At the same time, the turret is uninhabited. Such a solution is used for the first time in the world practice. This is because normally the turret is an excellent target, and a hit on it is guaranteed to destroy the crew. The view is maintained through sensors and cameras, and the crew capsule houses all instruments and controls. The standard crew of any tank is 4 people, but the Armata is fully operational with 3 tankers. At the same time, it is the world's first tank designed to work as part of a team. All actions are coordinated and controlled through a single system. The vehicle is filled with the most advanced electronics, with almost all processes taking place automatically, a step towards the creation of fully robotic military equipment. The digital control system increases the speed of any operations and connects the tank with any other members of the battle group. In 2016, representatives of Uralvagonzavod said that the tank could easily be turned into a remote-controlled robot. The name of the tank is T-14. An Armata is a heavy-tracked platform on which both this tank and about 30 other armored vehicles are created. The Armata uses an engine equipped with an automatic transmission, which provides the ability to change the power, up to 1,800 GP. In highway driving conditions, the tank is capable of covering distances of up to 500 kilometers at speeds of up to 80 kilometers per h, while in rough terrain, this figure is up to 50 kilometers per h. The tank is relatively light, weighing 55 tons. It is lighter than the American Abrams and the British Challenger 2, as well as the German Leopard. The main armament of the Armata tank is a 125 mm smoothbore gun, which has an automatic loading system. It can fire high-precision projectiles, including shape charge and fragmentation projectiles, as well as powerful Armata anti-armor missiles and reflex M missiles. The tank's rate of fire can reach 10-12 rounds per minute. Compared to similar guns of Western armored vehicles, the Armata gun has better muzzle energy and firing accuracy. According to the expert, the range of the gun is about 7 kilometers when using shells and more than 12 kilometers when using anti-tank missiles. Fire control is performed using tablets and panels. The tank's armament allows it to engage targets both on the ground and in the air. In addition to the main gun, the T-14 is equipped with a 12.7 mm caliber anti-aircraft machine gun with remote control and a range of up to 1.5 kilometers to engage air targets, as well as a 7.62 mm caliber twin machine gun to destroy enemy infantry. The developers made sure that the unique tank received the most advanced protection. The Armata is protected from mines by a V-shaped bottom. The Afghanite and Malachite systems are responsible for the active and dynamic protection of the vehicle. Thanks to radio-optical radars, the Afghanite is able to intercept shells at a distance of 4 meters or more. It shoots them down with special shotguns, which are located under the tank's armor. It can also provide a smokescreen to block laser guidance. Malachite modules are also installed on the armor of the T-14. They detonate when enemy shells or missiles approach and destroy them before they collide with the tank. This system is effective against armor-piercing shells and rockets. The tank itself is protected by composite multi-layer armor. It can withstand 152 mm anti-tank guided missiles and 125 mm armor-piercing sub-caliber shells. In addition, the engine, gas tank, and ammunition storage compartments are separated by armored walls. If the ammunition detonates, the knockout panels will reduce the impact of the blast wave. The Armata's turret automatically turns to the flying projectiles with its protected part as much as possible. According to rumors, the T-14 Armata tanks received their first combat use on the territory of Syria. This happened even before this combat vehicle was adopted by the Russian army, and was, in fact, a combat test of the tank. However, despite official statements, there is no reliable evidence that the tank was actually used in combat in Syria. In 2022, the Armata was not seen in the zone of Russia's special military operation in Ukraine. Foreign media wrote that this tank allegedly does not exist, and Russia has only a few mock-ups. According to rumors, at the end of April 2023, the Armata was seen at the positions. At the same time, military experts in Russia do not associate the appearance of the Armata in Ukraine with something extraordinary. News sites report that the tank was brought to the Special Operations Zone solely for testing in combat conditions. At the same time, it is important to note that there is no confirmed information yet. Earlier, French columnist Charles Le Courrier described the Armata as the most unknown component in the equation for Western intelligence. The journalist warned that American M1 Abrams and Leopard 2 tanks would not be able to cope with the Russian novelty in the event of a combat encounter. In the next video, we will compare the Armata with the most famous modern tanks of other countries. Subscribe so you don't miss it.